The sun dipped below the horizon as I, Emily, stood before the decaying remnants of an old railroad in the heart of the United States. Legends of spectral encounters and misfortunes that befell the railroad builders had piqued my curiosity, and armed with a flashlight and a sense of trepidation, I embarked on an investigation into the ghostly phenomena that clung to these iron arteries. The rails stretched into the distance, disappearing into the encroaching darkness. The air was thick with an otherworldly stillness, broken only by the distant hoot of an owl. As I ventured further into the abandoned railway, the tales of the railroad builders who had met untimely ends during construction echoed in my mind. It was said that their spirits lingered, haunting the tracks they had laid with blood, sweet, and sorrow. The first signs of the paranormal manifested as I reached a dilapidated train station, its time-worn boards creaking beneath my footsteps. A spectral fog clung to the tracks, swirling as if stirred by an unseen presence. The temperature dropped, and the air became charged with an eerie energy. I illuminated the area with my flashlight, revealing the phantom figures of railroad workers, their spectral forms toiling in perpetual labor. The ghostly workers, clad in tattered clothing reminiscent of a bygone era, paid no heed to my presence. Their ethereal shovels dug into the invisible soil, and spectral hammers struck against the intangible nails. It was as if they were caught in a spectral loop, forever condemned to relive the arduous construction that had claimed their lives. Undeterred, I pressed on, guided by the chilling whispers of the wind. The tracks led me to an overgrown cemetery, hidden among the weeds and underbrush. Faint moonlight illuminated weathered tombstones, each one bearing the names of the fallen railroad builders. It was here that the spectral encounters intensified. As I stood in the graveyard, a cold gust of wind carried with it the mournful cries of the departed. The apparitions of the railroad builders materialized among the tombstones, their faces etched with a melancholy that transcended the boundaries of the living. One figure, more pronounced than the others, approached me with an outstretched hand. His ghostly touch sent a chill through my spine as he conveyed a silent message. Images of accidents, tragedies, and the unforgiving brutality of the construction flashed before my eyes. The railroad builders had endured unimaginable hardships, and their spirits sought acknowledgement and remembrance. The ghostly hand retreated, and the figures dissolved into the mist, leaving behind a sense of sorrow that lingered in the air. Driven by the need to uncover the truth, I followed the tracks deeper into the heart of the haunted railroad. The flickering light of my flashlight revealed abandoned tunnels, their yawning darkness concealing the secrets of a bygone era. As I ventured into the black depths, the temperature dropped further, and a haunting melody filled the air, a spectral lament that echoed through the cavernous passages. The ghostly wail of a mournful train whistle resonated through the tunnels, growing louder with each step. A phantom train materialized before me, its ethereal form gliding along the tracks without a sound. Ghostly passengers peered from the windows, their eyes reflecting the pain and sorrow of a tragic journey. The phantom train vanished into the abyss, leaving behind an unsettling silence. In the heart of the tunnels, I encountered the apparition of a spectral conductor. His eyes, filled with an eternal sadness, met mine. He gestured towards an unseen destination and then faded into the shadows. The ghostly encounter left me with an indelible impression. the haunting echoes of a phantom train bound for the afterlife. As I emerged from the tunnels, the night weighed heavily upon the abandoned railroad. The spectral fog clung to the tracks like a shroud, and the atmosphere resonated with the lingering sorrow of the departed. The final leg of my investigation led me to a derelict bridge, a place notorious for accidents during the railroad construction. The wind howled through the skeletal remains of the bridge, creating an eerie symphony that seemed to echo the cries of the past. As I approached, the temperature plummeted, and the ghostly apparitions of fallen workers appeared on the tracks. Their faces bore the scars of tragedy, their eyes pleading for recognition and understanding. Suddenly, the bridge seemed to vibrate with an otherworldly energy. The phantom figures pointed towards the depths below, their silent entreaty urging me to uncover the untold stories that lay beneath the haunted structure. I hesitated, feeling the weight of the past pressing upon me, but the need for closure prevailed. With trepidation, I descended into the darkness beneath the bridge. The spectral fog thickened, and the air pulsed with an otherworldly force. A series of ghostly apparitions manifested before me, their forms contorted in pain and despair. It was as if the very foundation of the bridge held the anguished souls of those who had met their demise during its construction. One figure, more prominent than the others, stepped forward. His ghostly gaze met mine, and the tragedy of the past unfolded before my eyes. Accidents, collapses, and the unforgiving brutality of the construction had claimed countless lives. The spectral figure gestured towards the abyss below, his silent plea resonating with the need to acknowledge the untold stories that had been buried beneath the haunted bridge. As the ghostly encounter faded, I emerged from the depths with a profound sense of understanding and compassion for the spirits that lingered in the haunted railroad. The night, now in its darkest hours, bore witness to my journey through the spectral echoes of a tragic past. Haunted by the encounters with the railroad builders, I made my way back along the tracks. The chilling wind carried the whispers of gratitude, as if the departed souls found solace in having their stories acknowledged. The haunted railroad, once a forgotten chapter in history, now resonated with the spectral echoes of those who had labored and suffered for the iron veins that crisscrossed the land. As I left the haunted railroad behind, the moon cast its pale light upon the tracks, illuminating the ghostly imprints of a bygone era. The legends of the spectral encounters and misfortunes associated with the construction of railroads in the United States had been unveiled, and the spirits that had long sought acknowledgement now rested, their echoes fading into the night.